Welcome to Inside the Funnel by Durhamlane, a podcast where we unpack what's driving pipeline and revenue growth in modern B2B. I'm Richard Lane, and I get the chance to speak with brilliant sales and marketing leaders about what's going on inside their world, what's working, what's not, and what they've learned along the way. I've always believed that better questions lead to better conversations, and that's exactly what this show is about. I'm delighted to be joined today by Mark Boothe, CMO at Domo. I'm going to come clean now, but Domo are both a customer of Durhamlane's, and we're a customer of Domo's. So great opportunity to get under the skin really with a company that I feel I know really well and admire and have spent some good time with. So Mark, welcome to this episode.
Thanks, my friend. Good to be with you.
Well, it's excellent to have you with us, and I'm excited for our conversation today. And we created a title, Mark, From Dashboards to Decisions, Building an AI Native Revenue Engine. You know, say that with your teeth in. But I think what's really exciting about today is I know firsthand the work that you guys at Domo are doing from an AI point of view, building on your business and changing that world. So we're going to try and get into that space and really hopefully for our listeners give them some clarity and some insight into how the world is changing and changing so fast, but then also some things that they can take away and put into practice. And I think if we can keep it real, that'd be great. So Mark, just to get us started, perhaps you could just introduce yourself to our listeners and just quickly give them how you got to here.
So I've been at Domo for about 4.5 years as the CMO, and was an executive running field and partner and customer and whatnot before that. Spent about a decade plus at Adobe, was at Instructure for a bit. So I've had a kind of a front row seat at watching marketing mature. I mean, I was a part of Adobe when it was still box software, and was part of the company while that transitioned over to what it's become now. And AI, without question, Richard, has been the biggest shift I have ever seen in any kind of business setting in the history of my life, without question. And at Domo, we've leaned in very heavily. You're well aware. I mean, I hired an individual off the street who was an absolute, he's AI native, and he is an AI rock star. I mean, just thinks in ways that I didn't grow up with it. And so his job was to come in for my entire marketing organization and help us be not AI users, but AI fluent and AI advantage, but make sure that we are getting the advantages that you should get out of AI. We did that with our marketing org. We did that with our account development org in the US as well. I had an individual whose entire job was focused on help us use AI and other systems to be more effective. And it's made all the difference. Those who don't know Domo, we're an AI and data products platform company. We help build agents and apps that help people's businesses run, from the biggest in the world to small, corporate size accounts. We service all along that gamut.
Yeah, awesome. And, I think it's going to be great getting into this conversation because a lot of people are talking about AI. In fact, everybody is talking about AI, but there aren't many that I think have really got under the skin of it properly yet. Certainly not in a corporate sense, maybe as well. So I think just to maybe set the scene slightly then, one thing that we've looked at is that let's focus on marketing team. Most marketing teams have more data than ever before, but they're struggling to convert that into fast commercial action. So what I thought we'd start with is that piece around data and decision making. And one thing that I think I've sort of learned through my AI journey is that without great data, you don't really have anything. It'd be great to get your thoughts around what you see in your marketing world around that challenge with data, and how at Domo you've maybe sort of got ahead of that.
Great question. I mean, without question, AI is only as good as the data foundation you have behind it. That's why at Domo, we talk about the fact that there's really 3, maybe 4, and you'll see why I say that, key pillars that we focus on at Domo. 1, we help you build that data foundation wherever it lives. If that's in Snowflake, if that's in Google, if that's in Databricks, wherever it is, we help you access the data. We make sure it's clean and AI ready so that you can then take action. Next step is, how do you actually take the action, whether that's building an app, it's building an ETL, it's building a data flow, it's building an agent, whatever it is that's going to help you drive business outcomes, that's what we help you build. From there, we help you distribute it. There's so many platforms out there that, they can help you vibe code an agent or an app in seconds. But if the data foundation isn't there, it will be no good. Hard stop. And if you can't distribute that in a safe, secure, and governed way, you will never see success. That's the last, call it 3.5, 4, but really the most important pillar is governance. Do you have an auditable trail? Is IT going to be like, no way are you putting that into production? Like, those are the big things that you have to have if you are going to be successful in the AI era. You've got to have a stellar data foundation. You've got to be able to action on that data. You've got to be able to distribute it in a safe, secure, governed way. Those are the big things that people have to be able to have. And so from a marketing perspective specifically, we've got tools that we brought in for the team, but so much of it goes down to enablement. I see too often it's easy for people to say, oh, look, we gave them Gemini. We gave them Claude. We gave them XYZ tool. Now just go play around. I don't want people to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I want people to do? I want people to figure out, how can I be more effective and more efficient and better at my job? I don't need my paid media director or a VP of digital marketing to be really good at creating videos via Claude. I don't need it. Now, can Claude do that kind of stuff really well? Of course it can. But I need people to focus on, this is the thing that I have to nail, and I've got to be the best in the world at it. How do I use those amazing AI tools now? How do I enable myself or my team so that they can use the tools that will make them effective? And that's where most people get it wrong, Richard, is, oh, yep, you've got Gemini now, you've got Claude, you've got whatever. Oh, how come we're not seeing results? Because you didn't teach them.
And I mean, that's, 100% with you on that, Mark. And I think you're right. This is where people are falling down, is that they're not thinking of the end goal. They're just saying, here are the tools, go off and use it to be better. But actually it is about enablement. How have you done that at Domo then? How have you facilitated or directed or encouraged, provided the pathway for your people to understand that? Because that's quite a big shift in mindset probably for many people in the organization, right?
Yeah, it is. And so much of it, Richard, is the fact that we put those two people in those roles for our ADM org and for our marketing org, to be able to be totally focused on, how do we help people be more effective and more efficient? And so the one on the marketing side spent a ton of time with individuals in our team, just figuring out, what are your use cases? How could you use this? Now, how do we set it up? What are the agents we build? What can we do to make you more effective? And the honest truth, Richard, is it's been pretty wildly successful. I mean, the stat that I have is, I think it's a 200 plus hours a week of team capacity that's been reclaimed because of the work that we've done. 200 plus hours, hundreds of thousands of dollars in vendor costs that we no longer have to pay, because we've been able to build stuff internally. $1 million+ in AI attributed Salesforce tracked pipeline. Like, yeah. It's been pretty amazing. It's been pretty game changing for us. And so, we've got a lot of work to do, and things aren't perfect. Not everything is going the way we want it to be, but there's a lot of things that AI has helped us to do that are pretty revolutionary.
I guess Domo has been sort of built on the dashboard, on a sort of dashboard, on a dashboard premise, and you're clearly, as you stated just a few minutes ago, so much more than dashboards.
You were at DP this year.
Yeah. Domo Palooza.
Yeah, Domo Palooza. So there's an individual named Nicole. She's the CEO of a company that got up on stage. We had a good meeting while we were at Domo Palooza. And I think that she thought that exact thing, Richard. She thought, oh, they're a dashboarding company. And all of a sudden she showed up and saw the possibilities of what they could do and met with the right people. And it was a pretty revolutionary experience for her, because she realized, like, our dashboard's bad. Of course, dashboards aren't bad. All data is only as good as you put it to action, if it drives business outcomes. And if it's a dashboard that you need, fantastic. We can do dashboards in our sleep. If you need an agent that actually has workflows built in that does certain things, great, we'll do that. But it has to take action, and it has to solve business problems.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's that. I mean, that is a shift in itself, isn't it? And for you as an organization, you've just become intrinsically more valuable to an organization. I can say this being a customer, but actually if Domo was just providing us with dashboards of stuff, then that's one thing. But actually, to be building agents, to be providing the data governance, etc., then suddenly you're sort of operating at different layers within an organization.
Yeah.
which is pretty cool place to be. You mentioned Domopalooza. Before we come to that, though, just try maybe just thinking about listeners to this episode, thinking, well, how do I get started? Or maybe I got started and it hasn't gone so well. Could you sort of provide a couple of things that they maybe should think about in terms of that enablement piece, and how might they set that up and create some value for themselves sort of quickly?
Yeah, you're talking specifically about the AI enablement piece, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So, number one, get your data in a good place. At Domo, we have a whole AI readiness play where you can go and we can help you get your data AI ready. If your data is not AI ready and you throw it to AI to answer questions for you, you will get garbage, period.
Yeah.
There's no way around that. So make sure that your AI is ready, that the context is there. If the context is not there, you are set up to fail from the very beginning. Two, don't make it someone's afterthought. The fact that we put individuals in place whose entire job was to help people be more effective, it wasn't like, well, I don't know, maybe I'll get to it. It's the same issue with, hey, you've got Claude now, go figure some stuff out. They don't have time. They're focused on building pipeline. They're focused on delivering ads. They're focused on making dials. They're not going to go and do that. And if they do, it's going to be a waste of time. So have someone whose job is focused on, let me help you be more effective. Data, get that right. Get someone in place to be able to enable and really truly enable, not just give tools. Biggest challenge, give tools and hope that they figure it out. And then don't be afraid to fail. There are going to be mistakes. There are going to be things that happen that you're like, oh, shoot, I didn't think that would happen, or I didn't even think about that, or I didn't realize. Like, that will happen. But test and fail fast and move fast, and you'll see results.
Yeah, awesome. And when you talk about, I mean, I wrote down there, be purposeful in terms of you're having these people to do that are leading this for you. You said you went out and found a couple of people. Are you is it sort of by default you're finding people in a different sort of walk of life to the usual Domo sapien that you've been finding? Are they much younger? Are they got very different experiences?
Fair question. One of them from our ADM org he was an ADM, very technical, got I think his master's in analytics or something, and is very technical. So the AI thing is not anything new to him. Yeah. The other one is an individual who was sent to me, bad story, and Jake, if you're listening, I apologize. Jake, who is this individual on the marketing side, sent me a LinkedIn message, and I do get a fair amount of LinkedIn messages, which is no excuse, but I do. And this was probably a year before. I didn't even respond, Richard. I didn't even respond. And his profile, I mean, essentially what was sent to me is his resume, which was a custom agent that had been created to answer any question about this individual. And I was sent this, I was kind of like, you should look at this person. So I start looking at the thing and I'm interacting with this agent and I'm like, holy cow, this is next level. Any question you can think of, even to the point of it being set up to be extra safe and secure. So you want to try and trick it and get stuff like it. He thought of everything. So I called him that day, got a hold of my boss and was like, can I hire this guy? And he was like, yeah. So hired him really quick. Both of them very young, AI native and AI focused, and driving things for our business and for customers that are pretty mind blowing.
And that takes some courage as well to hire people that are in a different space and whatever, but you wanted to do something different, so that is cool. Gonna move on to, we mentioned Domopalooza. I mean, I had the pleasure of being there. It's an amazing event. Lee, my business partner, actually saw One Republic in Hyde Park just this last weekend, Mark. Massive event, unbelievable. I thought it'd be good just to sort of talk about how you've used that event, which I imagine is a massive time-sinking organization and very expensive to run. But how have you drawn out the value from the customer feedback? Must be immense, and it'd be great to understand how you sort of take that customer feedback and then use that to drive the business forward.
Yeah, so it is. I mean, it's our flagship event. It's the most important and strategic event that we do all year. We have a significant amount of our customer base that comes to the event, and it is multiple days of teaching and learning and keynotes and The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Great, great concerts and parties.
Yeah.
This year we had 1,400 plus people,
The
a
value.
massive amount of our ARR. It's somewhere around a quarter of our total ARR that attends, has somebody in attendance at that event. Massive amount of sponsorship revenue that comes in. Significant amount of prospect. The prospect attendance this year was up 50+%. So lots and lots of interest. You saw it. The big focus for Domopalooza this year was AI. How do you use Domo with a Claude, with a Cursor, with a Gemini or whatever else to make yourself more efficient and more effective? But yes, we rely heavily on that event to build the relationships, to build the pipeline, to be able to help us hit the numbers that we need to hit throughout the year.
How does the sort of feedback you get, or does the feedback you get go into then shaping the strategy for future years? Because I presume it's a huge listening event for you.
Huge listening event for sure. The feedback is always very positive. It is, we're releasing product throughout the year, but it is the biggest time of the year where we're actually showcasing and highlighting product, getting a lot of feedback from customers. We've got a really amazing Domo community where people are giving feedback on the product and things that they'd like to see on a regular basis. And our product team will look at that and take that into account and whatnot. So yes, it is a place where we spend a lot of time listening and hearing from our customers. But there are definitely many others, like our Connections Tour that's coming up here in the fall, or the community and whatnot. But the single biggest event of the year to get customers together to be able to hear what it is they need and how we help both organizations move forward.
An amazing event that is incredibly well put on. And then maybe sort of just final topic, and back to AI, the theme du jour. From a marketing point of view, where should people be starting in terms of using AI to not just do what they've done before, but with less people, but to up their game? I like what you were saying earlier about the goal of this is to help people to increase their performance, increase their output, increase their outcomes. It's not to get rid of all my stuff. It's about how do we use this to become next level. I was listening to someone yesterday. She said the floor is rising, which in the world of sales I think is a good thing. But she said never before has good been so underwhelming, because everybody is now at the same place. It's really, there's no excuses, I think, anymore for not doing your sales research before you meet a prospect. For example, it's a couple of sentences and click of a button and there you have it. So from a marketing point of view, where have you seen the biggest wins so far on this journey?
Totally echo your thoughts there, Richard. And in my opinion, it has never been easier to be in a sales-focused organization or sales-focused role than it is today. You've also never seen more trash than there is today. I mean, in your line of work, and I get them all the time, I am amazed at the AI slop that hits my inbox on a regular basis, all the time. And it's maddening because I'm like, don't be dumb. Like it is not hard. Like you said, it is a really well-written prompt away from making you look like a genius. But if all you say is say, okay, AI, go do my research, do my writing, do my sending, do my outreach, do everything, and you're not even involved, you're doing it wrong. That old adage, Richard, of people buy from people they trust, it's still true. Still true. You look at some of those very best and most successful reps of all time, what do? They have really good relationships. The best reps, the best marketers, the best whatever other role, engineers, are using AI to make their goodness better. It's to make them more successful, to take out the stuff that AI is better at, to help them be more efficient with their time. But I think that what people have to think about is the sequence of mindset first. I have to make sure that I am helping people understand this is not to reduce your job. And you look at how many organizations today, Richard, have let people go all in the eyes of, oh, well, this is, the AI cut. And then so many since then have been like, oh, yeah, it's a mistake. So mindset, how do we help people understand that I want to help you be more effective? I want to help you be more efficient. I want to help you be 10x, 2x, 3x, whatever it is, better at your job. So mindset, number one. Number two is hands-on enablement. making sure that we help people understand specifically what are the use cases in my role. If I'm a paid media director, if I'm a communication specialist, if I'm a content writer, whatever else, what are those use cases that AI could help me be better at, and then go build them. The third key in that is tools, and it's third. Yeah. It's not second, it's not first, and people get that wrong all the time. Oh, there's Gemini, there's Claude. How come you haven't 10x your productivity? I never even sat down to think about, well, how could this make me more effective? Nobody sat down and taught me how to build the agent. Nobody showed me how to make the data AI ready. Like, we miss the most important part, and we throw a tool at them, and then companies are like, well, I don't know what happened. AI doesn't work. Yeah, AI works. You don't work.
And do you think that's what's giving Domo an edge? And what I mean by that is you as an organization are moving into different parts of your customers' organization. So you're providing that data governance, which is, as we talked about a couple of times, is pivotal and key and the number one requirement. You're able to provide that sort of purposeful support in terms of, we've built lots of these things, we understand how to do it, and we can help you to do it as well. We can do it for you, and then we can help you to be successful, and we can help bring that mindset. So actually, part of the challenge, I think, for organizations is it's sort of the Wild West out there at the moment. And in my line of work, my industry, it's making it harder for everyone, because the amount of rubbish has just been 50x or 500x, which ultimately makes it harder for everybody, even if you're approaching things in a meaningful way, because everyone is becoming so overloaded with rubbish. So it's even harder to cut through. Helping us in lots of ways. I talk about AI for speed and scale, humans for connection, and I think there's that opportunity to take out some of the tasks and things that don't necessarily have meaning but need to be done, to give ourselves lots more time to be meaningful. And I think that's where what you were saying as well. And I just wonder whether, from a Domo point of view, because you're a platform, additional benefit of being able to support the governance and everything else as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it is. I think that so much of the value that customers can see today is that barrier to entry is so low, so low. I mean, we just had this event, Richard, a couple of weeks ago, Domo Build, where we had a significant amount of customers, ESPN, Yum Brands, and a whole host of others, who are showcasing these really cool agents or apps that have been built to be able to help them be super, absolutely super. And you don't have to be anymore a deep data scientist to be able to build those things.
Yeah.
Like, the barrier is so low if you do it right. If you put your data in a good place, the foundation's there, and you build the stuff, and you bring IT in the whole time, and it's not, I'm shadow IT. Like, you're going to see success if you build the right stuff and enable your teams and help them to be really good at what they're good at. That's the key. Yeah. But Richard, part of the issue, I think, is that people think, oh, well, AI is just going to reduce the time that I need to work, so I can work 20 hours a week and that's plenty. No, like, still be the best that you can be. Put your work in, but focus on the stuff that you are uniquely good at.
Yeah, well, it doesn't replace hard work. You could argue that everyone needs to work harder to create the gains, but I think the results are there for people that follow your steps and get that right. So yeah, awesome. I think that's been a whistle-stop tour, Mark, through sort of the world of Domo and how AI is reshaping what you guys are doing. I'm always excited to hear about where you're taking it, and I do think the advances from Domo and the support and the enablement of how you're helping organizations take on AI in a sensible manner and a intelligent manner is fantastic. So thank you and the team for that. I noticed also that you've just recently been announced by Snowflake as a Domo one to watch as a partner, which is nice. So that's good news. And I think, from summarizing today's conversation for our listeners, it's get your data and context right, be purposeful, enable your people well, because you understand what you're trying to do, before you go out and build. Don't be afraid when things don't necessarily go right first time. Iterate and go again. Have the right mindset, and then use the tools to create the value that you're looking for, and work hard to be successful. Is that a good summary?
Better than I could. Well done.
Well, you said it, I then summarized. So look, Mark, thank you so much for being with us on this episode of Inside the Funnel. Really, as always, enjoy the chat, and I'll look forward to speaking to you again soon. Thanks so much. To everyone that's listening, thank you for tuning into another episode of Inside the Funnel. I've been your host, Richard Lane. If you found this episode useful or thought-provoking, feel free to share it with someone in your world. And if you'd like to learn more about how we help organizations build pipeline, just head over to Durham Lane. Until next time, I'll see you inside the funnel.